Hello everybody and welcome into another game day 15 game from the 2015 RNL, my randomized rosters league here. One of these days I'm going to find a better intro to that. I should probably write that down somewhere. It's a 2015 randomized set. All the teams completely randomized into different rosters. And we are halfway through the season, almost. After tonight, we'll be halfway through. There's 30 days. It's a 30-day season. Each team is going to play 28 games in those 30 days. And after tonight, we'll have reached the halfway point. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is game 210 out of 420 games that I'll be playing. So even though it feels like I've been doing this for a long time, and it's been over a year now, I still have 220 games to go, and the most I can do really is one a day. And so if I do it for every single day, which I know I won't, I usually take 1 day off a week. I still have a long way to go. That's going to be quite a ways, but I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are too, and I'm happy that you're here with me tonight. We've got Al Red Sox fan checking out. We've got Mouse in your house. Welcome. I've never seen you in the stream before. Welcome, Mouse in your house. He's asking how I randomize the teams. That's a good question, and I think I've addressed it in the intro video, but I will do it here. I've what I did is I put all the rosters. I got the digital roster, and I put it into Excel spreadsheet based on I separated the players out in a few different categories: outfielders, infielders, catchers, and pitchers. And then I randomized. I put a number by each player's name, and I randomized it and put those. It was a long process, and I can explain it further in a different video, but it was in Excel, and I'd used randomization macros inside of Excel, and that's where I kept my entire roster file. And once I had them in an arranged order, I plotted them into the teams that I had different sheets on my spreadsheet made for, and we ended up with this here today. So all the rosters are available. I've got a link to them. You can check those out. But tonight we will have New York against Minnesota. New York and Minnesota share the same record at 6-7, and they are one on top of another in the standings. Minnesota sits at 10th and New York at 11th. The tiebreaker is run differential between the two. Minnesota is at a +1, New York's at a -19. They both sit 3 games back, or did at the beginning of game day 15, of the AL leaders, the Texas Diggersby. New York travels to Minnesota this game after a home game against Oakland, a surprising victory for New York. They've now won 2 in a row. It's a 5-3 win over Oakland. And Minnesota, meanwhile, comes into this game. They were home their last game in game day 14. Lost to Seattle, who's a pretty good squad, as we saw earlier in this game day. Seattle beat them 5-1, and Minnesota has dropped 1 in a row. So here we go. We'll check out the lineups here. As a reminder, in the last game, I did some little mini games to see if anybody would have fun with that. It was pretty popular, and so we'll continue that here tonight if anybody's interested. I'm going to give out points throughout the night to see who's going to win the stream. It was newcomer Bob Borowick the last time in the last game, Oakland versus LA. He had a total, I think it was 3 or 4 points. There's only 4 points total available, and I think he took them all, actually. So the easiest way to get in the game is to answer the question of the day, and I'm going to get to some of your answers throughout the game. I saw that Al Red Sox fan has already answered that one, so I'm going to put his name here, and he's already gotten a point. So Al Red Sox fan has answered the question of the day. What's your favorite ballpark food? And we'll get to some of those answers as the game goes along. And if you want to join in on the fun, make sure you write your answer in the live chat. You can also send them to me on Twitter at RNGIDP_strat. If you're watching off the live stream, which I'm appreciative. I'm much appreciative of those that watch after the fact. If you want to get in for the next game, shoot me your answers to the following questions on Twitter at my Twitter handle at RNGIDP_strat. But it's going to be the same questions every time. Number one, how many home runs do you think will be hit in the ball game tonight? Number two, who will score the third run of this ball game? And be thinking about it, because I'm going to go through the lineups here in a minute. You probably can't read them all that well, so I'm gonna go through the lineups, and you're going to be looking for who you think is going to score the third run of the ball game. And then come the sixth inning, we'll do a D6 sixth. And let me get my die out so that I can remember to do that. All you have to do is pick a number, 1 to 6, and I'm going to roll a D6. And if it comes up your number, then you win a point. So, we'll continue. Let's take a look at the pitcher for Minnesota that'll be on the hill. That'll be Chris Rusin. Chris Rusin has gone 6 innings this season. That's 2 starts worth. He's got a 1-0 record. He had one really good start and one not so good start. Giving up 16 hits in those 6 innings. He's allowed 11 earned runs with 5 strikeouts and no walks. So he's been beat up a little bit in one and got a victory in the other one. And this will be the lineup that faces him for New York. So New York will trot out this lineup. They have their cleanup hitter, Danny Valencia, out hurt. He should be back in the next game. But Valencia is the league leader in home runs at 7. So they're missing some power in the middle of that lineup. And they will line up this way against Rusin and the Zweilis. Minnesota will face this lineup. Domingo Santana is the center fielder, and he'll lead off. He's at 255 right now with 5 doubles. He does have a homer and 4 RBI. Hidre Adrianza is the shortstop, switch hitter in the 2 spot. He's at 146 for his average. That should be higher. His card, well, maybe not actually. His card is a 186 average. His on-base percentage is 303, so he should be a little bit better than that. Alex Gordon is the left fielder, the left-hander. He's in the 3rd spot. Alex Gordon is up to a 321 right now. He's got 6 home runs and 11 RBI. Darren Ruff moves into the cleanup spot tonight. He's a first baseman. Darren Ruff is having a rough go of it behind the plate. He's at 154 for the average. He does have 3 homers and 7 driven in. Dominic Brown is batting 5th today, the left-hander. Dominic Brown's average is at 385 with 3 doubles, a triple, and a homer. Joey Butler is the DH today. The right-hander is the DH. He hasn't played a whole lot. Joey Butler is 2 for 8 in his appearances, though, and he double. Pedro Siriaco is filling in at 3rd base for Valencia. Siriaco's been okay. He's 7 for 25 at the dish with a double. Mike Zunino is the catcher, and he has not been great. He's 125 at his average right now. That's 5 for 40. In those 5 hits, though, he's got 4 extra base hits, 3 doubles, and a homer. Taylor Featherston rounds out the lineup for New York. He is the second baseman for New York, batting 9th, and Featherston gets the start again tonight. He's 1 for 2 with the double. He drew the start last game and fared pretty well, so he gets another start in place of, I believe it's Micah Johnson. Yeah, Micah Johnson is the normal second baseman. So that is the lineup for New York. We'll go through the lineup for Minnesota here just to get you thinking about who you think is going to score the 3rd run. Minnesota, they will line up like this. Miguel Cabrera leads off for them. He is, yes, the leadoff hitter at the first baseman. He's batting .288 with 7 doubles, so he's setting the table pretty well. Matt Carpenter, the lefty, is in the 2 spot. He is 14 for 53. That's a .264 average. 3 doubles for him, and the team lead at 6 home runs. Leads the team with 13 runs driven in as well. Nolan Arenado, he's third baseman in the lineup. He's got his average up to .250. It was a lot lower than that. He's got 5 doubles and a pair of homers. Prince Fielder moves up to the cleanup spot, the DH. Fielder is batting .353 with a couple of homers. David Murphy has been struggling. How about now? Can you hear me? All right, looks like we're back to functioning. Sometimes, for some reason, OBS, the system I use, it just doesn't want to work. All right, so back at it here. We're almost ready to get this thing started. Did you get your votes in for who you think is going to score the third Ren tonight? Well, do it now. You've got all the lineups to look at, and that'll get you a point. Al Red Sox fan has answered the question of the day, and before we get this thing started, we'll give you his answer. The question of the day is, what's your favorite ballpark food? Al Red Sox fan says the sausage grinder. The sausage grinder is his favorite ballpark food, though he gets it outside the park as well. And Mouse in Your House has answered as well. So we'll do a Mouse. He's got a point. He said Permonte Brothers, or Permonte at PNC Park. What do they sell at Permonte Brothers at PNC Park? What is it that you get there? Huh. All right. We've got 3 votes for Miguel Cabrera to get the third run. And we are ready to start here. Chris Rusin will start off against Domingo Santana. This is the last game of day 15. I'm excited about it. This is a 6-5 to the leadoff man. And we are underway, and Santana hits one to the shortstop, Echeverria. And this ball game is started with a ground out to the left side of the infield. Ken Castro is here. Welcome, Ken. He's answering the question of the day, so he gets a point. And Adrianza comes up. Adrianza and Echeverria. Those names, I get them mixed up anyway, and here we are. We're going to have to keep them straight. It's a 1-8 for Adrianza, And luckily, it's not hit to Echeverria. The third baseman, Arenado, slides in front of him to cut it off. And Arenado, showing off the glove early, throws it across the diamond. And that is the second out. And now it'll be Alex Gordon, lefty on lefty here. It's a 1-4, and look at all that black ink. But Alex Gordon, he gets underneath it. That one is going to be behind the plate. The catcher, Lucroy, goes back, and he's going to have room. He'll toss the mask away, and that'll make it the third out. So a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the first. New York goes scoreless. I'm sure all the New England fans in attendance here, I'm sure all the New England fans are excited. Can you guys hear me okay? Are you guys hearing me? Let me do this here. I can write you notes. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Can you guys hear me? All right, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Al Red Sox fan, thanks for being my ears out there and letting me know that my sound wasn't working earlier. Okay, we continue here as we go to the bottom of the first. New York will toss out Chris Young. It's the battle of the Chris's on the mound. And Chris Young has one start under his belt this season. He's gone 6 innings. He took a loss. He gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs. He struck out 4, but walked 1. All right, so Minnesota will lead off with Miguel Cabrera here. Just getting started here from Minnesota. And Chris Young pitches to Cabrera, and that's going to be a leadoff walk for the veteran righty Miguel Cabrera. Matt Carpenter now with a man on board. Minnesota's offense is pretty dangerous. They score in bunches. They've scored 56 runs this season. The pitching, though, has given up 55. This is the lefty Matt Carpenter. It's a 5-5, and Matt Carpenter is going to get caught looking with a strikeout. That'll be the first out of the day. Al once did a great boxing video with no sound. Yeah, that's rough, man. And it probably was the best call you've had of your life. Nolan Arenado now with a man on first. That is Miguel Cabrera. He's not much of a runner. And this will be another walk. So Arenado being patient. And Chris Young has delivered his second walk of the inning. Miguel Cabrera moves to second. And that'll be Prince Fielder. Fielder has hit pretty well so far. His average is pretty high. He's got 2 aboard here. Chris Young struggling to get command of the ball early. It's a 1-10, and he draws a walk. So Chris Young, he puts his glove up to his face and screams some not so kid-friendly words into it. Circles the mound, and Mike Zunino is going to go out, the catcher, and have a quick word with him. David Murphy now, he steps into the batter's box. Young hasn't returned to the mound yet. Zunino trots back behind the plate. And David Murphy is ready. The bases are loaded now. All 3 have been walked. Chris Young just got a talking to from his catcher, Mike Zunino. The infield is back looking for the double play. And David Murphy sees the pitch here from Young. It's a 6-5. And that's going to be on the outside corner. And that's a called strike 3. The umpire may be giving Young the benefit of the doubt there. Stretched the zone a little bit. The ump has feelings too. And felt some compassion there for Young. And gives him the outside strike, and Murphy's just caught there looking at it for the second out of the inning. So it'll be up to Cole Calhoun now. The lefty against Chris Young. It's a 1-2 9, a 1-9. Oh, this is going to drive home a few runs here. This one is into the outfield. A 1-2, it's a double. It's a 16, so it's going to be an RBI single. 2 runs will score. Cabrera trots home from third. Nolan Arenado with 2 outs got a quick jump off of the bat, and he scores from second. Prince Fielder, he's able to get to third, chugging along. And Cole Calhoun has driven in 2 runs. It's a 2-0 ball game here in the bottom of the first. Cabrera scores. Arenado scores. And Cole Calhoun has the first 2 RBIs of the ball game. We've got 2 runs scored here, so if you haven't gotten your vote in for who you think the third run will be, the third run scored, do it now. Prince Fielder's at third. He could be it. But Jonathan Lucroy has 2 outs here. Lucroy sees the pitch. It's a 3-9, and he swings and misses. That's a strikeout. Chris Young strikes out the side with a few runs sprinkled in there. And Jonathan Lucroy is holding his side in his rib area. And the trainers are going to have to come out to look at him to see if he's okay. Lucroy waving his arm, circling it around, trying to stretch it out. And let's see if he's going to be able to stay in the ball game. That is a... Nope, they're managing the manager. The trainers look at the manager, and they tell him that Lucroy is going to have to come out. So Lucroy strained something in his side. He looks okay, but they're taking him out for precaution reasons. And we're going to have to find ourselves a new catcher. And the backup catcher for Minnesota is Carlos Ruiz. So Ruiz will enter the game. And he will bat 7th. Okay, so we move to the top of the second. Minnesota takes a quick 2-0 lead here. Off of a RBI single from Cole Calhoun. Drove in 2 runs. Hey, Mike McAllister, welcome in. Jerry Ball is here, welcome. Don't forget, we're doing our contest tonight here, our points contest. All you got to do is answer the question of the day. You got to tell me how many home runs you think will be hit in the ball game, who you think the third run will score will be, who the player will score the third run is, and once we get to the 6th, you just got to pick a number, 1 to 6. All right, Chris Rusin here to face the 4, 5, 6 batters of Ruff, Brown, and Butler. And Chris Rusin against the righty. This will be a 1-11. That's going to be the first ballpark single chance we see here in Minnesota. It's a 1-12, and this one's going to scoot through. Darren Ruff has himself a leadoff single to start the second. Cole Calhoun, Jerry Ball is a fan of those Yavapai Rough Riders and Arizona State Sun Devils, and Cole Calhoun was both of those. So we know who he's pulling for. Chris Rusin now will pitch to Dominic Brown, the man on first. That's Darren Ruff. He's an E stealer, so he's not going anywhere. It's a 6-4. This one is a fly ball to center field. That's where Jason Burgess is. He's a 3-range center fielder, a 3-16. Jason Burgess says, "You are out." And Ruff is going to tag up, and he will make it to second, actually. He was smartly tagging up at the base, and he will advance. Jason Burgess was kind of nonchalant about the catch, didn't really even look at the runner, and Darren Ruff takes advantage of the defensive, I guess you could say, indifference, and he trots down to second without a throw. So now there's a man at second base, and Joey Butler, the DH, will come up. It's a 3-5. Joey Butler sees the pitch, and he swings at it, and that'll be a strikeout. That's the first strikeout on the day for Rusin. And there's 2 down now. We've got a good crowd here tonight. Got good. I'm a little tongue-tied tonight. My tongue is lazy for some reason. We've got a good crowd here tonight, and I'm much appreciative of you guys being here. Pedro Siriaco now with a runner in scoring position. It's a 3-6, and Siriaco is going to see a pitch he likes upstairs, but he whiffs at it, and that's the 3rd out. So a leadoff single, but Rusin comes back and gets the next 3 batters. And New York is still scoreless. It's a 2-0 ball game as we move to the bottom of the 2nd. Minnesota scored 2 in the 1st inning. And here they are with the 8, 9, and 1 batters of Echeverria, Burgess, and Cabrera. Jerry Ball has Ruff as the 3rd run to score. We'll see. Echeverria, it's a 3-9, and this is going to be a hit. This one is hit out into the outfield to center field. Santana is chasing after it. Will he get to it? He's going to cut it off before it gets to the wall, so that's only going to be a single. That one had triple written all over it, but a nice play out in center from Santana to cut it off. And Echeverria has stopped it first on a loud single. So Jason Burgess now, his first time up to the plate against Chris Young. Echeverria is a C-stealer. Let's take a look at the catcher's arm anyway. It's Zunino, who's a -1 arm. Burgess is not a great hit and runner, so he's just going to swing away. It's a 4-10. He hits one hard, but right at the second baseman, Featherston, and he makes the snag. Echeverria scampers back to first, and there's one away. Jerry, I guess Ruff won't score. Well, he might if we get back to him. Mike McAllister says no home runs tonight. All right. Ken Castro's watching the gold medal game and listening to me. Much appreciated, Ken. Miguel Cabrera is up. He walked his first time, and he scored. And this is a 4-7. This time, he's going to get caught looking. That is the second out of the inning. 4th strikeout already for Young. But he's already given up 2 runs as well. Cabrera didn't really like the call. He kind of he froze in the box staring at the pitch where it ended up. He didn't say a word to the umpire, but he let him know with his body language he didn't appreciate that call much. And now Matt Carpenter, who was caught looking his first time up, it's up to him with a man on first. 2 outs now. A 1-10. A 1-10 will be a little dribbler out in front of second base. Featherston charges hard at it. Has to avoid the runner Echeverria, but he still is able to make the play in time to get Matt Carpenter. So we're through 2. It's a 2-0 ball game. New York trails Minnesota. Not only in the game, but in the standings as well. They're tied at 6 and 7. But Minnesota has a better run differential. Chris Rusin now will pitch to the 8, 9, and 1 batters of Zunino, Featherston, and Santana. It's a 6-12. Good thing the DH wasn't up. And that'll be a second base X chance. So Matt Carpenter is going to be tested here. Matt Carpenter is a 4-range second baseman, so he's kind of not a great second baseman, but he's going to go deep into the hole here, and he's going to be able to make the play against the slow-running catcher. That'll be the first out. That Carpenter's range was tested there. He gets his pants dirty as he has to slide out there and make the catch. And Featherston is up to the plate. The last man not to have an at-bat in this game is Taylor Featherston, and he will face the lefty Chris Rusin. It's a 4-7, and Rusin loses him. That's a walk. So Featherston trots down to first. He's a C-stealer. And let's take a look at the catcher's arm. The new catcher is Carlos Ruiz, and he has a +1 arm. So not as good as LaCroix was back there. And the running game may be jump-started here with that news. It's a 1-11 as Featherston is a C-stealer. They're going to have to hold him because of the catcher's arm. So that'll bring it down to a 1-8. +1 is a 1-9. In order for Featherston to steal, he'd have to roll in 1-9. He's not going. Santana's the man at the bat. It's 1 out. And we're back at the top of the order. Santana sees the pitch. This one is lifted out to right field. Cole Calhoun is tracking it, and he will make the nice catch as on the jog. And there's 2 outs. Now it's Adrianza with 2 outs. Mike McAllister says Cecil Fielder. Not Cecil. Oh my gosh. I just time warped 20 years ago. Shows how old I am. Prince Fielder, who has come and gone and since retired in the major leagues, and I just referenced his dad. Wow. Adrianza, let's just get this at-bat going. Against the lefty Chris Rusin, it's a 5-8. And Adrianza is going to get a hit here. How far will it go? Is it going to get into the gap? A 1-4, it's a triple, and it's a double. So Featherston at first. We'll see if he can get the green light to go home with 2 outs. Featherston is a 1-14 runner. They were holding him, so it's a 1-13, but there are 2 outs, so it's a 1-15. And he picks up his third base coach, and he's rounding him home. 1-15, and he scores, and he slides, and he is safe. So Taylor Featherston scores the run from first. Adrianza gets an RBI on the double with 2 outs here against Chris Rusin. That cuts the lead in half. New York now trailing 2-1, and Alex Gordon comes up with 2 outs. So the third run was scored by Taylor Featherston, and I feel confident that nobody had that one in the chat. If you guys did, please speak up, but I'm pretty sure that nobody did. So that one will get no points for anybody here. Strat-O-Matic Delaware, hello and welcome into the channel here tonight. Happy to see you here. Now we got Alex Gordon up with 2 outs. Man standing on second is Adrianza. Gordon sees the pitch, and he'll hit a little soft dribbler out to Matt Carpenter at second. Carpenter charges in, and he will make the throw, and that'll be the 3rd out here. Carpenter brushes off more dirt as he had to get down and dirty off of his high-cuffed pants. And we are out of the top of the 3rd. We move to the bottom side, and New York has scored a run. It's a 2-1 ball game. So we go to the bottom of the 3rd, and Minnesota will send up the 3, 4, 5 batters of Nolan Arenado, Prince Fielder, and Daniel Murphy. I said Daniel, it's David Murphy. And Chris Young, he struck out 4 batters so far, but he's also worked with a lot of traffic due to his own doing here. 3 walks and a couple of hits so far. Nolan Arenado in his first at-bat walked. And here he sees the pitch. It's a 2-3. This one's hit back to Young, the pitcher. Will he be able to make the play? He's a 4-range pitcher. A 4-12 is going to go to his E rating. He's an E12. We rolled a 6. So in E12, we rolled a 6. He knocks it down. It gets away from him for the moment. Arenado's not really a great runner and didn't break that hard out of the box. So Young is going to scramble for it, and he'll make the strong overhand throw to first. And that'll be the first out. A little bit more drama than Young would have hoped for, but he made the play anyway. And there's one down. And Jerry Ball says, Taylor who? Yeah, Taylor Featherston, apparently. He scored the third run here. 2-1 ball game. Minnesota has one out here in the bottom of the third. Prince Fielder up against Chris Young. This is the 3 column, and look at all those hits. From 5 to 12, it's all singles. This one is a 7, so Prince Fielder sends a solid single right up the gut, and that's the second time he's been aboard today. So Prince Fielder is aboard. The base clogger at first. He's a 1 to 10 runner, which seems kind of generous. He's an E stealer. David Murphy, the left fielder, has struck out looking his first time up. And this is a 2-9. A 2-9, that's going to be hit out to second base. The second baseman, Featherston, has problem getting out of his glove, so his only play is going to be at first. Fielder, I just was dogging him about how slow he is, but he got up the line quickly, and he makes it to second easily. Daniel Murphy will be out at first, as Featherston he thought he had a tailor-made double play ball with Fielder busting it down the line. It got into his head, and you know, it's the easy plays that you mess up, right? And he had so much time that he just botched it. And Fielder advances to second, and it's Cole Calhoun, Jerry Ball's man over there. Cole Calhoun, he's already singled on the day, driven in 2 runs. And we'll see if he can do it again. This is a 1-12. Not going to be this time. He hits it to Featherston, who's going to make up for that mistake. It didn't count as an error, but here he will make the much easier play. And that'll end the threat here in the bottom of the third. Prince Fielder is stuck on second, and we are stuck at 2-1 as we move to the top of the fourth. 12:30 on the East Coast. Strat-O-Matic, Delaware checking in. And I'm much appreciative that he's here. I very much appreciate and enjoy your videos, Strat-O-Matic Delaware, and I'm honored by you coming here to check me out. Darren Ruff will lead off here against Chris Rusin. He's the cleanup batter. Ruff, Brown, and Butler are due up. Ruff singled his first time up. And against the lefty Rusin, this is going to be hit by the pitch. So hanging over the plate is Ruff, and he takes a fastball off the elbow. He will advance to first. He shakes it off as he walks down to first. Dominic Brown now. He flew out to center field his first time. He's got Ruff on first. And this is a 4-7. This has got a shot to get through the infield. A 1-9, and it's a single. It's a 5, so that sneaks through. Darren Ruff is going to have to just go station to station here. And Brown is aboard with a single. We've got 2 aboard now. And Chris Rusin is in trouble again. Gave up a run the last half inning. And now he's got Joey Butler, who struck out his first time. Nobody out here, 2 on. They're playing double play depth. It's a 3-10, and they might just get it here. This one's hit out to Carpenter. Carpenter wheels and fires to Echeverria, back to Cabrera. That is a 4-6-3 double play. Just what Rusin ordered. The runner, that's Darren Ruff. He advances to third, but now he stands there with 2 outs. And it'll be up to Pedro Siriaco to get that run home. Pedro Siriaco struck out his first time. And he's got a RBI just waiting to come home at third base. That's Darren Ruff. It's a 5-6, and he's going to knock one up the middle. That'll be an RBI hit for Pedro Ciriaco. Ruff trots home from third, and Ciriaco ties the ball game up here. Filling in for the injured Danny Valencia, and Ciriaco has himself an RBI. So he's at first, Ciriaco is. He's a C-stealer. Mike Zunino is the catcher, and he's up to the plate. He bounced out to second his first time up. This is a 2-11. A 2-11 is going to be a ballpark single chance. Zunino might keep this thing rolling. He does. That's a 1-12. We rolled a 10. So Zunino and Ciriaco with back-to-back hits. And Rusin is he's hitting a wall here. And it'll be that man, Taylor Featherston. Although he could be Terry and nobody would really know, right? Taylor Featherston with 2 on, 2 outs. A tie ball game here in the 4th. It's a 6-2, and Featherston being patient there. He draws a walk. That's the second walk he's been given today. And the bases are full of Mankeys, and it'll be the top of the order to come up. It's Domingo Santana. Santana's 0 for 2. Al Red Sox fan says his cousin just got traded to the Panthers? Really? Al, that's pretty cool. I didn't see any trades from the NHL today, so I'm behind on the news. All right, bases are loaded here. New York could break this thing open. Rusin just had a visit from Carlos Ruiz, his catcher, and he's ready to fire here. They're going to let him get after it. They're going to let him try and get out of it himself. Santana is 0 for 2 against him, and here you will see the pitch. It's a 2, which is good for Santana. Oh, no, this is a ballpark home run chance. Santana, he puts a little charge into it. A 1-7, and this will be a grand slam. A 1-7. It is a 7. So Domingo Santana hits one deep, way deep, and high and gone. And Santana with the grand salami of the 4-run type. Ciriaco scores. Zunino comes home from second to score. Featherston with his second run scored of the game. And the leadoff man driving in 4 runs. And New York jumps on Chris Rusin with 2 outs and take the lead. Maybe they should have gone to the bullpen there after the walk to Featherston, but they let him trying to get out of it, and they pay for it. That's a grand slam. So now it's Adrianza. That's a home run, the first of the ball game. And let's just take a look at the Minnesota bullpen. They've got a long man, and that's Tyler Lyons. Yeah, Tyler Lyons is their long man of the pen. And they just may have to go get him. In fact, I think they will. So Chris Rusin's day is cut short. Once again, he's given up a chunk of runs. He did that in his last start too. So Adrianza, he steps out of the box, and we'll get a new pitcher. As Chris Rusin's day is done, he could only last into the third. 3 2/3 innings. He gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. A total of 6 runs. He struck out 2 batters is all. And he walked a total of 1, 2. So his day is over, and the lefty, Tyler Lyons, comes on. And he will face the bat of Ahidre Adrianza. So here we go. Adrianza is 1 for 2 on the day. He's got a double. And this is a 3-4. This is going to be hit weakly to the shortstop. That's Echeverria. And he will fire across the diamond. And that's the third out. So Lyons, 1 pitch, and he gets out of it. But not before the big slam from Santana. And in the inning, New York scores 5 runs to take a 6-2 lead here in Minnesota against the Zweilis. So Chris Young, he hasn't been all that great. Been effectively wild, you could say. But he's been spotted a 4-run lead here. And he pitches in the bottom of the 4th. He'll take on the new catcher, Carlos Ruiz, and then Echeverria and Burgess. So it's a 5-8. The 5-8 is going to be popped up, but Siriaco at third base has got no problem with that. And he will make the catch. And there's 1 out. I haven't seen many grand slams in this league. I always feel like it was my responsibility. Like I'm a bad manager if I gave up a grand slam. Like I probably should have replaced Chris Rusin there. But I don't know in the game if they would have. If they would have just let him try and get out of it. There was 2 outs. He'd gotten a double play earlier in the inning. I don't know. I kind of second-guess myself a little bit on that, especially when there's a grand slam hit. Echeverria, he's 1 for 1. He's singled back in the 2nd inning. It's a 5-8, and that's the same thing. It's popped up to Siriaco again, pretty much the exact same spot, and it'll be the exact same result. Here's 2 away. It'll be Jason Burgess. He lined out sharply to Featherston at second, his first time up. This one is hit to Featherston again. Will he be able to make the play? He's a 2-range second baseman. Pretty good with an E13. A 215 is going to be a clean play for Featherston. He's making it look easy out there. And that'll be the 3 up, 3 down. So Young, after getting the lead, locks it down and gets a 1-2-3 4th. And we move to the top of the 5th. Tyler Lyons will come back out for Minnesota after a brief appearance to spring Chris Rusin in the 4th. And he will face the lefty Alex Gordon, Darren Ruff, and another lefty, Dominic Brown. Gordon is 0 for 2 today. And against the lefty, it's going to be hit out to center field. It's medium deep. Jason Burgess, though, is on his horse, and he will make the catch. And there's 1 away here. I'm happy you're here, you guys. This is fun. I'm being reflective tonight. After this game, we are halfway through the regular season. Darren Ruff, halfway through this game, is 1 for 1 with a hit and was also hit by a pitch. It's a 3-6, and he just takes this one way yard, hits one, cranks one out there, and it is gone. So Darren Ruff sends that pitch back in. And not even a split chance homer, just a straight up gone yard. And New York extends their lead to a 7-2 ball game. So Dominic Brown against the lefty. It's a 3-9, and Dominic Brown sends one to the outfield, out to center. Santana has trouble reading it. It hits on the wall, rolls along the base of the wall, and Brown is going to be at third with a stand-up triple. Brown has great wheels, and he just kept running and ends up at third with a stand-up triple. All the all my New England fans here, Al Red Sox fan and Jerry Ball, they're not liking this New York business here. Joey Butler now, and maybe we'll have to go to the bullpen once again. Lyons really isn't getting it done. And we've got a couple of options from the right-hand side. So I think we'll go and get them. And one of them will be Jonathan Broxton. Jonathan Broxton's going to come in here, try and settle things down a little bit. The veteran right-hander. So Broxton comes in to face Butler. Lyons, he went a total of 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 hits. He didn't strike out anybody, and he didn't walk anybody. He's responsible for Brown at third. The infield comes in to try and cut that runoff. And Joey Butler will face the new pitcher, Jonathan Broxton. It's a 3-3. This one is a single chance with a, that's a skinny single chance, a 1, and it'll get it done. It's a 2, so that one is hit to second base with the infield in. The runner on third holds, and Joey Butler is going to be thrown out by the second baseman, Carpenter. 2 down now. Infield is regular depth, and it'll be Pedro Siriaco. Siriaco drove in a run with a RBI single back in the 4th inning. And here he is. He's 1 for 2 against Jonathan Broxton. This is a second base X chance. So the second basemen have been busy today. Carpenter, he's not a great range. He's a 4 range. We rolled an 8. That's going to go to his E rating, which is an E13. E13, and we rolled a 7. And Carpenter, he's going to get his pants dirty again. But he's going to be able to make the sidearm throw from a knee to get Siriaco at first. And 2 batters, 2 grounders to second. And Broxton gets out of the inning. But New York scores another one off a home run from Darren Ruff. And much to the chagrin of the fans in this chat, it's a 7-2 ball game. And I never told you my favorite ballpark food. My favorite ballpark food, I go to Coors Field probably, I don't know, anywhere from 1 to 5 times a year. I really like nachos. I'm a nachos guy. That's my jam. There's they just got a cider cider stand where I usually get I like pizza too, so there's a pizza place they're pretty good, and they sell nachos right there too. And right behind it there's a little kiosk now that sells draft ciders. And I know where I go now. So Miguel Cabrera, he will lead off the bottom of the 5th. This will be a reminder to, we're going to do the D6 inning. So get your votes in for what you think the D6 roll will be. Put your number down, and if you get it, you'll get a point. Mouse in your house is also a fan of the Red Sox. All right, well, we got a whole team full of Red Sox in the chat. Let's see if Minnesota can come back and win this game. A 4-7 against Miguel Cabrera, and he gets struck out looking for the 2nd time today. Chris Young has started to settle down, and that's 5 strikeouts for the big righty. And Matt Carpenter is 0 for 2 today. And Matt Carpenter sees the pitch. It's a 4-6, and he draws a walk. So that's a way to get a rally started, is just to get people on base. Carpenter does that, and he's got the heart of the order coming up with Arenado, Fielder, and Murphy. Arenado is 0 for 1. He drew a walk back in the first, and he scored. And here he sees the pitch from Chris Young. It's a 5-7. That's a ground ball, second base X. The second baseman is, you guessed it, Taylor Featherston. We're all going to remember his name after tonight. He's a 2-range. A 2-14 is going to be a good play, but Matt Carpenter is he's going to advance to second. Featherston didn't have enough time to get the runner, and so he will go the short way and get Arenado at first. And there's 2 outs. Carpenter advances to second, and Prince Fielder will be up to the plate. Fielder is got a single and he's walked today, the cleanup batter. And this is a 4-8. It's a 4-8. Can you believe it? It's a chance at a triple. Come on, Prince Fielder. Let's roll a 1-2. We all want to see a triple from Prince Fielder, don't we? Come on, let's roll a 1 or a 2. It's a 6. Oh, man, he can't leg it out. And so that's going to be a fly ball center field B. The center fielder, Domingo Santana, the guy that hit the grand slam, showing his speed out in the outfield, and he makes the catch. Fielder was thinking about it. He felt like it might have dropped, and he was actually running. That would have been something. But we head to the 6th. It's a 7-2 ball game. New York continues to trail here. We will do the D6 roll in between innings. Or, excuse me, in between the top and the bottom. Jerry Ball's got his number in. Is that the only guy that I've seen put his bid in for the D6 6th? Jerry Ball says he loves the Fenway Franks, so he's in the hunt. Mike Zunino and Jonathan Broxton will continue here. He pitched well in his brief appearance in the 5th. This is a 5-8, and he's going to lead off with a walk, though, to Mike Zunino. And now it's that man, the one, the only, Taylor Featherston. He's drawn 2 walks today and scored 2 runs. Here he is to face Jonathan Broxton in the top of the 6th. It's a 110, and a 110 is going to be hit to third base, Arenado. Arenado goes to second, and they're not going to get the relay. Carpenter had trouble getting it out of his glove, and so Zunino is out at second for the first out, but Featherston reaches on the fielder's choice. So that's the 3rd time that Featherston has been aboard without a hit. So Santana is the man at the plate. He had the big knock here, the home run, the grand slam, 4 driven in. That's his only hit of the game. And he'll face Jonathan Broxton. It's a 2-8. This is a 1-2, and it'll be a single. Otherwise, let's see, that is a ground ball, shortstop B. So the shortstop, this time Echeverria grabs it, throws it to Carpenter, hoping to turn 2, and Carpenter throws, and it's in the dirt. It's dug by Cabrera, but Santana beats the throw out. And that's another fielder's choice. Carpenter has failed to turn 2 on multiple occasions here in this inning. So Adrianza will be up now. 2 outs. Santana's on first. Broxton, whatever we got to do to get out of the inning, well, he'll do it that way. And Adrianza will strike out. He swings at a pitch and misses. It's the first strikeout for Broxton, and we have reached the middle of the 6th. It continues to be a 7-2 ball game, and it is time. It is time for the D6 6th. The grounds crew goes back out and grooms the infield, and while we have a minute, let's roll this baby. Anybody else going to get in? Jerry Ball has a 4. Al Red Sox fan has the 1. You guys can guess multiple. Like, don't think because Al Red Sox fan has the 1, you can't guess a 1 as well. Let me scroll up to see if anybody else has any. I don't see any. Mouse in the House has a 4 as well. All right, here we go. The D6. This is, I'll prove to you, it's my D6. It's 6-sided. It even has, my sister-in-law went to Las Vegas and she brought me back a set of Craig's Casino dice. I don't know where that is, but it's pretty cool. All right, here we go. Now let me bring this over here so it'll stay in there. A D6 and the 6th. It's a 2. Did anybody have a 2? I don't think they did. So this one will be 0 point as well. So it'll be up to the home run total to see if anybody's going to win tonight. And Chris Young will continue here in the bottom of the 6th. He'll face the 5, 6, 7 batters of Murphy, Calhoun, and Carlos Ruiz. Murphy is 0 for 2. He struck out looking, and he grounded out to second. This is a 5-8. And this time he's going to pop up, and that's, guess who it's to? On the infield, it'll be Taylor Featherston. Making all of the plays is Featherston. Look at this. If we just count this real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays have been made so far, with 1 out in the 6th by Taylor Featherston. Mouse in Your House and Jerry trying to they're trying to pander here, saying they guessed a 2. I don't know, or I mean a 4. Cole Calhoun now, he's 1 for 2. He drove in a pair of runs, the only 2 scored for Minnesota. And against Chris Young, he hits 1 to guess who? Featherston. And he makes the clean play over to second. Carlos Ruiz now. Will he hit 1 to Featherston? That's really the big guess here. It's a 5-7. A 5-7 is, oh my gosh. This is a ground ball second base X chance. He's a 2 ranged. I know because I've looked a million times today. A 2-5 is going to be a clean play. And that's a clean sweep. 3 assists for Featherston in the inning. And Chris Young, well, I guess he knows where to where the defense is. And Featherston makes all 3 plays. And we go to the 7th. If you don't find that as funny, I'm sorry. I'm chuckling here because it became obvious a couple innings ago when Featherston was making every play. But now that Strat-O-Matic is just messing with me. And we're going to go get Broxton. With a couple of lefties coming up, we'll go to the lefty, Will Smith. Nah. He will face Gordon, Ruff, and Brown. The last time we brought in a lefty to face throws 3, it didn't work so well. Ruff hit him for a homer, and Brown hit him for a triple. See if Will Smith can do any better. Lions gave up, he gave up 1 run. Broxton, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 2/3 innings. He didn't give up a hit. No runs either. He struck out 1 and he walked 1. So Will Smith takes over and he'll face Alex Gordon. And Will Smith will face Gordon here. It's a 1-6. Oh, wow. This one is hit well off the lefty. A little lefty-on-lefty violence here. A 1-12, and it's gone. And that is not. It's going to short hop and bounce against the wall. That's a double. But Alex Gordon says, bienvenido a the ball game. to Will Smith with a leadoff double. Darren Ruff now. They're gonna intentionally walk Darren Ruff here with a base open. So they put Ruff aboard. He's already hit a homer and singled and was hit by a pitch. So he will get the base. And they will face Dominic Brown. They're going lefty on lefty, matching up here with Will Smith. Brown, though, is 2 for 3 on the day with a single and a triple. The infield is playing back, trying to get that double play. It's a 3-5, and it's not going to be a double play. Dominic Brown hits one to the outfield. 2-20, it's a double. That's going to be a double. Alex Gordon will score from second. And Ruff will stop at third. So the matching up didn't quite work out so well. Dominic Brown has an RBI. It's an 8-2 ball game. Jerry Ball just laying it out there. Great. Smith pitches like he acts. Well, he's going to get the axe here real quick because he's given up 2 hits and an intentional walk. Dominic Brown is a home run away from the cycle here as he's singled, tripled, and doubled. And he drove in a run here. Alex Gordon scores from second. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. It's an 8-2 ball game. And they're going to have to go to the bullpen again. Will Smith gives way to David Hernandez. Dang fake Yankees. You're right, Al Red Sox fan. I'm sorry. Ever since I started putting these games online again, New York has started winning. And David Hernandez will have to come on, the righty. Will Smith, he didn't get an out. Gave up 2 hits. And he walked a batter, albeit intentionally. So Hernandez comes up, and he will face Joey Butler. Runners on second and third. Nobody out. Infield is back. They're just looking to get an out here. Not worried about another run. It's a 3-6, and Hernandez gets a strikeout. So there's one away here. And Pedro Siriaco is 1 for 3 on the day, and he steps into the plate to face David Hernandez for 11. Oh, and Siriaco sees a pitch he likes, and he turns on it. Will it be up and out? It's a 5, which is a ballpark home run. It was a 1-7, but I'm just noticing now that Siriaco is weak power. So that's going to drive in 2 runs as it's a long single. It's a 2-star single, and Brown is going to score from second. Ruff will score from third. Siriaco has his 3rd RBI on the day with a long seeing single. And the replacement for the home run leader in the AL has got himself 3 RBI on the day. That'll close the book on Will Smith. And he gave up 3 runs. And New York has kind of made a laugher out of this one. Siriaco stands at first. He's alone on the bases now. Mike Zunino, he's 1 for 2 on the day. He's also drawn a walk. This is a strikeout. 2 down now. That's the 2nd strikeout for Hernandez since he's come on. And it'll be that man, Taylor Featherston. He's been on base 3 times. 2 walks and a fielder's choice. And here against the righty Hernandez. This one is popped up behind the plate. Carlos Ruiz will be able to make a play. And that will be the 3rd out. So mercifully, the 7th inning, we move to the middle of it. It's stretch time. But New York plates 3 more, and it's a 10-2 ball game. And this is where Mike McAllister shows up, right? Mike, it's the middle of the 7th. Are you going to sing for us? It's stretch time. Echeverria and Chris Young. Chris Young has pitched pretty well since that first inning where he gave up 2 runs. Since then, he's given up 2 hits and only walked 1 batter. So he's settled down after that first, and he will continue here against the 8, 9, and 1 batters. And we're ready to roll here. Bottom of the 7th, Minnesota looking to try and scratch home a few runs to make this any kind of ball game. Echeverria, he hits one to the left side, and it's a pop-up. And I think that Siriaco is tired of Featherston making all the plays, so Siriaco calls him off, and that will be the first out of the inning. Al Red Sox fan, he does the part and sings the last line at the old ball game. Jason Burgess, he's 0 for 2. It's a 6-10. This one has popped up pretty much the same spot, and it'll be the same spot and the same out. 2 outs now. Chris Young is just kind of cruising along now. And he'll face Miguel Cabrera. He walked to lead off the bottom of the first. Since then has been caught looking twice in a row. This time, though, he's going to draw another walk. So he's walked twice, sandwiched in between 2 strikeouts. Matt Carpenter now with 2 outs, a man on first. Carpenter is 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a 1-6, and that's going to be a walk. So Chris Young, he may be hitting the wall here. His pitcher inning of weakness has passed already, so another hit or a walk, and he will become weak. Young now faces Nolan Arenado, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. It's a 1-8. A 1-8 is hit right back to Young. He's got no problem. He sticks the glove out. The ball jumps inside of it, and he underhands one to first. And that'll get him out of the inning. He's through 7. Only giving up 2 runs back in the first. It's 10-2. We move to the 8th. At my ballpark, Coors Field. For those that don't know, I'm in Denver. Big-time Rockies fan since they came to the league. Before that, a little trivia question. Before I was a Rockies fan, since we didn't have a team, I was a fan of the Orioles. Just because I liked their colors pretty much. I still have some Orioles gear. I have like 5 Orioles hats around. The old swinging bird is still one of the greatest logos. But at our ballpark, Coors Field, they sell Rocky Mountain oysters in the concession stands. Do you know what those are? Rocky Mountain oysters? I'll let you stew on that for a second. Prince Fielder, or excuse me, we're on the top of the 8th. Go to the top of the order, Santana, Adrianza, and Gordon to face Hernandez. Santana has 4 RBIs, the grand slam earlier. And it's a 3-6, and he's going to strike out here against Hernandez. That's Hernandez's third strikeout on the ball game so far. Adrianza now, he's 1 for 4 with the double. That was an RBI double back in the 2nd inning. Seems like forever ago. A 1-7. This one's going to be lifted to center field. Jason Burgess is underneath it. And he makes the snag. There's 2 outs. Alex Gordon now, he's 1 for 4 with a double. And he will face Hernandez here. It's a 1-7, and he's going to plop one out into left field. And that'll be a 2-out knock. Darren Ruff, he's taken to the cleanup spot pretty well. He's 2 for 2, a single and a homer, and was hit by a pitch and intentionally walked. He may have found a new home in that cleanup spot. And here he is with a man on first. It's a 1-7, and he lifts one out to left. David Murphy camps underneath it, and that'll be the end of the top of the 8th. New York, they stay off the scoreboard, but it continues to be a 10-2 ball game as we reach the bottom of the 8th. Runs are needed for Minnesota as outs are short. It's 6 of them left for the Zweilis, and it'll be Prince Fielder, who's 1 for 2 on the day, to face Chris Young for the 4th time. It's a 4-6, and Prince Fielder draws a walk. So one more Walker hit, and that'll make it 4 in consecutive innings for Chris Young, and that would make it him a weak pitcher. And here he will face David Murphy. Murphy is 0 for 3 on the day. This is a 4-11, and Murphy puts a right into one. This is a ballpark home run chance. Against the righty, he is a normal power. So a 1-7, and it'll be a 2-run shot. It's a 2, so David Murphy sends one up and gone. And that's a 2-run homer for David Murphy. Prince Fielder comes home from first. And it's a 10-4 ball game, good buddy. David Murphy plants one out there into center field. And he's got a pair of RBI. And it gets a little bit closer, a little bit more interesting. Jerry says I have Oriole orange on. I do, actually. This is not an Orioles shirt, but I have, if I look in my closet, I have an Orioles jersey somewhere. I can't see it right now, but it's over there. Chris Young now has reached his pitcher inning of weakness, and he is going to come out of the ball game, I believe. Let's take a look at the bullpen just to make sure. Yeah, they're going to go get him, and it'll be who will come in? Let me check the stats here real quick for New York to see. We'll go get Daniel Hudson. Daniel Hudson has pitched in 5 innings, has no record. He's given up 4 hits, only 1 earned run. He's struck out 6 and walked 3. So he will come on, and he'll face the lefty, Cole Calhoun. Chris Young pitched pretty well after that first inning. We'll get his numbers in a second here. Young, he went 7+, hasn't gotten an out here in the 8th. He gave up 1, 2, 3... only 4 hits. That homer was the 4th hit that he gave up. 4 runs, all of them earned. He struck out 5 batters. And he walked. That was his problem today. He walked a bunch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 walks. He makes way, and Daniel Hudson comes on. Hudson, nobody out here. Nobody on to face the lefty, Cole Calhoun. And the first pitches he sees, and he hits Cole Calhoun. Hits him in the ribs. And Calhoun, the trainers come straight out. Calhoun didn't even have to wait for him. They're on their way out to look at him. And we'll roll to see if he is injured. And, you know, those Yavapai guys, they're tough guys, and he's going to stay in the ball game. He shakes it off, rubs a little dirt on it, And he trots down to first, calls off the trainers, tells him, I'm fine, I'm fine. They don't call me a Rough Rider for nothing. So Carlos Ruiz will be the batter. Runner on first. Ruiz is 0 for 2. He came on in relief of the injured Lucroy. It's a 6-7. That's going to be a second base X chance for you-know-who. And he is a 2-ranged second baseman. A 211 is going to go to his E rating, which, have we seen that before yet? I don't know that we have. He's a 13 E rating. A 13, and we rolled an 8. And so Featherston has to make a diving stop. He flails it to shortstop from the ground. And Adrianza makes a strong throw over to Ruff. That'll be a 4-6-3 web gem type double play. And Featherston gets another tough one. Jerry Ball says, don't hit Cole. And he says that, Boog Powell. He hopes I have a Boog Powell jersey. I don't have a Boog Powell jersey. You know who it is? You will never guess what Orioles jersey I have in my closet. I don't know if I should let you guys guess, but you'll never get it anyway. So I'll just tell you. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th, Echeverria is 1 for 3, and he's going to be 1 for 4 as he gets caught looking with a strikeout. That's the first one for Hudson, and that's the 3rd out here. We move to the top of the 9th. It's a 10-4 ball game, good buddy. My Orioles jersey is a Jeff Conine Orioles jersey. Go ahead. I'll wait for all the jokes. Go ahead. David Hernandez, will he continue here? He's already pitched 2 innings. I don't think he will. They will go get Brad Brock. Speaking of Orioles, they will go get Brad Brock. That's who he was carded for in this set. And he will come on to face Brown, Butler, and Siriaco. Hernandez pitched well, but he pitched 2 innings, so his time is done. So Brad Brock comes on. Hernandez went 2. He gave up 2 hits, no runs, struck out 3, and he didn't walk anybody. So Brock comes on, and the man up to the plate will be Dominic Brown. Al Red Sox fan checking out. Happy to have you here, Al Red Sox fan. I enjoyed watching your basketball game earlier. If you like basketball, you should check it out. It was the Warriors against the 2016 Warriors against the 82 Spurs, I want to say. I think that's what it was. Dominic Brown now is a home run short of the cycle, and here he will face Brad Brock. Can he do it? Does he have any home runs on his card? Yeah, not good chances, though. He's got to roll a 3. It's a 1-7, and hits one deep to center field. The center fielder is Burgess. He goes back at the track and makes the catch. Dominic Brown puts a charge into it, but warning track power, as they say. And he will probably remain a homer short of the cycle. Joey Butler now to face Brock. It's a 3-4, and a 3-4 is a swing and strikeout. That is the 3rd one on the day for Butler. Butler may not get another chance as the DH going forward. He's 0 for 5 with 3 strikeouts and a double play. Siriaco now, he's 2 for 4. Couple of singles and 3 runs driven in. It's a 1-12, and this one's hit to 3rd. That is over to Arenado, the human vacuum cleaner over there. He's got no problem with it. And Seattle retire. The top of the 9th. We go to the bottom. Minnesota only needs 8 runs. Excuse me, 6 runs now. And while we're wrapping up here, why don't you think about the player of the game, who you think it might be. There's a couple of good options tonight. Chris Young pitched pretty well. Santana had the grand slam. Dominic Brown is a homer short of the cycle. Darren Ruff hit pretty well. Be thinking about who your player of the game is. As Daniel Hudson, he got a double play ball and a strikeout, so he'll continue here. Jason Burgess, will he be the hitter? No, I don't think he will. They'll go get Skip Schumacher to pinch hit for Jason Burgess. Trying to give some other guys some at-bats here. And Skip Schumacher will get the pinch hit. Okay. The lefty steps in against the righty Hudson. It's a 3-10, and Shoemaker pops the double out to left field. He'll be aboard on a stand-up double to lead off the bottom of the 9th. So the manager pulling the string, and he gets a pinch hit to show for it. Schumacher is aboard for Miguel Cabrera, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts and a pair of walks. This one is a 3-5. That's going to be a single up the middle, and that's going to score a run. Shoemaker quickly comes around third, and he'll score. That's an RBI single for Miguel Cabrera, and that was a pretty easy run to score. It's now 10-5. So Hudson gives up a quick run here in the bottom of the 9th. Nobody out. Man on first is Miguel Cabrera, and Matt Carpenter comes up. He's 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. This is a 3-6, and this is going to be a hit. A 1, and it's a triple. That's going to be a double. Cabrera will get to third and won't test his luck as there's nobody out. But Matt Carpenter doubles out to right center field. And there's now runners at second and third for Nolan Arenado. And how far will they let Daniel Hudson go? It's a 10-5 ball game. And Nolan Arenado is 0 for 3 with a walk. This might be the last batter he faces as the lefties are coming up after him. So Hudson will face Arenado. 2 runners on. Looking to get an out. The infield stays where it is. It's a 1-9. This one is hit to third base. Nobody's going to advance. And Arenado grounds out to Siriaco for the first out. Now with Prince Fielder up, the lefty, Daniel Murphy behind him. Let's see. The New York Yankees will bring out... Well, actually, New York doesn't have any lefties. The only lefty they have is their closer, Glenn Perkins. And they're just going to have to do it. So Hudson comes off. They're going to bring out the closer. It's not a save situation, but... let's see. Actually, is it 1, 2, 3, 4? Would 4 runs tie it up? Let's see here. It would. I'm going to have to double check. If you guys know offhand, because I'm not very good with the save rule. If it'll be a save, I don't know. We're going to try and get these outs anyway, and I'll figure it out. So Glenn Perkins comes on, the lefty. Hudson, he pitched pretty well. He went an inning and a third. He gave up 1, 2, 3 hits. And did he strike anybody? Yeah, he did. 1 strikeout, no walks. But Glenn Perkins comes in, the closer, looking to close it out here. Perkins has 4 saves on the season. He's only given up 1 run. He struck out 2 and hasn't walked anybody. But a little drama here in the bottom of the 9th. 1 run is already scored. It's a 10-5 ball game. And Perkins fires to the lefty. And Prince Fielder is going to pop it up to first base. And that'll be the 2nd out. Darren Ruff made the grab. And it's now up to David Murphy. Murphy hit a home run his last time up. A 2-run shot. If he could hit one here, it'd make it a little bit more interesting. It's a 1-7. A 1-7 is going to be lifted out to center field. And the center fielder, Santana, is going to make the grab. And that will be the final out of the ball game. So Minnesota makes it a little bit interesting. They scored 1 run there in the bottom of the 9th. But they fall to New York and will fall beneath them in the standings. New York, they win 10-6 here tonight. New York will move to 7-7, back to 500. Minnesota drops to 6-8 and will drop in the standings as well. So I want to say thank you for joining me here before we do our final wrap-up stuff. Jerry Ball says no save chance. All right, thank you for letting me know about that. Did anybody? Let's see how many home runs we had. We had 1, 2, 3 home runs. Did anybody say 3 home runs? We're looking for a winner here. Anybody say 3 home runs in the chat? I'm gonna have to go look. Let me look here. Jerry said 3 home runs. Jerry Ball gets a point. Did anybody else? I don't see anybody else. I think Jerry Ball, with that David Murphy home run, might have just won the stream for the night. So congratulations to Jerry Ball. You are the star of the show here tonight. You win the mini game with 2 points. Congratulations to you, sir. This has been fun. If you're going to get out of here, I appreciate you. Leave a like before you do if you liked it. I'm going to tally up some of these stats here. I left a few blanks here. But it's a 10-6 ball game, and we have reached the end of game day 15, which means we have triggered the halfway point of the RNL. I hope you are appreciating and having fun with it. I know I am. I'm going to post all these stats and get all that stuff done for the new game day. Usually between game days it takes me a day, or I should say a night, to set the rotations for the next game day, update all my stats, print out everything, and get ready for the next game day. So I'm not sure if I will have a stream tomorrow. If I do, it'll be Monday night probably. So I'll let you know. Follow me on Twitter at RNGIDP_strat. I'll keep you updated there. I'm going to post the scorecard. I'll post all the stats. I'll post the cup bracket. If you've been following this, you know that we have our standings. The top 1 in the standings in each of the leagues will face each other for the championship series, the champion of all the RNL. But then after the season, it's not over for everybody else. We're going to have a cup. It's a single elimination tournament for all the rest of the teams that didn't make the championship series. And that's where we'll do our league stuff. And so, but when I showed you this, and you can click the link on the Twitter page. But this was coming into game day 15, how the cup looked. Boston, St. Louis, Seattle, and Milwaukee got first round byes for being 2-3, 2-3 in the AL. So coming into the game day 15, Pittsburgh and Texas would play the championship series. Then the next 2 from each league would have first round byes in the cup. And then all the rest, 4 would play 15. So Atlanta would play Kansas City in the first round. Cincinnati would face Toronto, that kind of stuff. You know how a tournament works, right? And so we're going to have some fun with it. And I'll keep you posted, and you can follow along with me as well. So that's enough blabbering for me. I'm going to go ahead and do these stats. You can hang around with me, chat with me some more in the live chat. But I want to say thank you to everybody. Jerry Ball, who's the winner on the night with 2 points. Al Red Sox fan. Mouse in your house, who is new to the stream, and I welcome him. He was fun to have here. He was chatting it up with Al Red Sox fan. Ken Castro chimed in. Mike McAllister was here. Strat-O-Matic Delaware graced us with his presence, and I'm appreciative of him doing so. And who else was in here? I think that might have been it. But if I missed somebody, I'm sorry. I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate all you guys watching after the fact too. You guys make it fun, and you can also be a part of the mini games too. If you send me your questions, your answers to the questions, either on the YouTube comment or on Twitter for the next game. All right, so Daniel Hudson, he went 1, 2, 3, 1 2/3. He gave up 3. He didn't give up. Oh, he gave up 1 run, and he didn't walk anybody. Perkins went 2/3 of an inning and blanked everybody. So Chris Young, did you think he was going to get the win from the first inning? I doubt it. I didn't think he would last past the 4th. But Chris Young gets the victory. That moves the record to, if I can get to it, Chris Young is where did I put that? My computer's being slow here. Okay, he is 1-1. The loser was Chris Rusin, and he drops to 0-2, or excuse me, to 1-1 himself. There was no save. Brandon Brock got the last 3 outs and didn't give up anything. Struck out 1. All right, it was a 10-6 or 10-5. I kept saying 6. 10-5 ball game. So that'll do it here. I'm going to post these over to Twitter. I appreciate your support, and I'll let you know when the next stream will be. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.